Hey guys, out for a walkabout, Sri Lanka Sammi, part 2 of a crazy love story. Part 2. Did you guys read the comments from part 1 and see what people are talking about? What do you think is happening for the second year of Mr. K coming back to Korea and hooking up right away with Miss J? Lo and behold, unbeknownst to me that he had been chatting her up the whole year. What do you think will happen? Let's find out. And here we go. I hope it doesn't rain. Today's a cloudy day. Hope it doesn't rain. Anyway, here we go. Part 2. So this is the second year that Mr. K is back in Korea, and he's right away with Miss J. So I found out that he had invited her to stay with him for the 3 months that he was here. And I had found out that he had volunteered. She never asked. He volunteered to pay for her rent on her place while he was here, so that she, you know, didn't lose her place, but that he wanted her to stay. So obviously this relationship has moved to the next level. There, you know, he's living in a nice hotel in Gangnam. I was there. You know, he's staying at the Lotte. So was it Lotte or Coex? It was Coex, sorry, Coex. You know, they're going out. I don't see much of him. I meet, you know, I see him once in a while. They went on a trip to Japan again so he could reset his visa, and he stayed for 4 months. So what do you think happened during this time? Let's find out. So Mr. K is now in his second year in Korea with Miss J, and they are traveling. They went to Japan, they went to Guam, they went, I think they went to Philippines and to Thailand. Like, they were barely in Korea during that time. So suffice it to say, the relationship had advanced, and he is showing her a great time. You know, she's having a great time, he's having a great time. From what I saw and what I understood, he was head over heels, and I don't want to say in love, but he loved being with her. And like me, the one thing I really liked about the guy, and still do, is he's like me. He doesn't mind spending money on his friends or people he cares about. I have no problem in doing that. I don't think about it. I don't say, oh, do I have the money? Do I need? I have the money, I spend it. It's because I have no commitments, I have no bills, I have no responsibilities or obligations. Money is just something I use for whatever I want. I'm very fortunate in that situation, and so was he. You know, he had no children, he had no debt, he had no family responsibilities, so he was like that. And you know, we talked about that, and I said, you know, kind of mentioned, I said, you know, spending quite a bit, and he explained, you know, he says he's not rich, he's just no debt. So, you know, he makes money and it's like it's just sitting there doing nothing. He has a pension, he has a house that's paid for, that if he wants to sell, he can make a huge profit. So, you know, he's to want for nothing. Anyway, so after the 3-4 months of the second year, he invites her to come back to the United States. Now here's where it gets interesting. I found out after the fact she was still working, and he knew because that's where he met her, but he knew she was working. So he kind of wanted to get her out of that. So what he did was, he says, you know, I want you to come down for, you know, 3-4 months or 8 months or whatever. And she kind of said, nah, I'm not gonna come for 8 months. I'll come for 3. This is the portable baker. So he's got all the bread in there and everything. Anyway. So I kind of found out after the fact that she had kind of sunk her hooks into him. I could kind of tell, but I didn't. It's not my place to tell a grown man what to do with his life. I probed. I said, you know, are you sure you want to do this? And, you know, I said, has she asked you for anything? And he's like, no, I'm the one that's offering. And I'm like, all right, brother. All right, brother. You're an intelligent human being. It's not my place. This is not my brother. This is not my father. This is not a relative. This is just a casual friend. But, you know, I pointed out to him certain things, and the man was well aware. So I left it at that. So, where were we? Okay, so they go to, so he invites her to come to America. Now, he has promised to sponsor her for the time he's away so she doesn't have to work. And for the 3 months that he's gone, he'll pay for all of her expenses and her costs in Korea, like her apartment and everything like that. Now, whether she kept the apartment or subleased it or whatever, she was getting the cash in her bank account in Korea. So, she comes to America. They spend a couple of weeks in Alaska, and the rest of the time they're in Florida. He got an extended vacation, and for Christmas got to go to Florida for 6 weeks or something like that. So she got to see the Florida house. Now this is important. Remember this for later. Take notes. There will be a test at the end. There will be a test. Take notes, all right? So this is her first time at the Florida house. Now, they had flown, okay? So this is also important to know. They had flown from Alaska to Florida, and then back to Alaska, and then she went back home to Korea. So she had spent like maybe 2 months in Alaska. So, wow, those are some big chickens. There's one big chicken there. There's some hens there. And then there's another big rooster over there. Wow, they're big. You don't want to screw around with chickens. Those things will peck you. You gotta be careful. Anyway, here we go. So, she is now the de facto girlfriend. You know, he has made sure that she is 100% with him. She returns to Korea. And now we're into the 3rd year. He has now returned for his 3rd year. We had a huge party, I remember. It was a rager. It started out at a... he had rented out a whole restaurant, American barbecue, done all that wonderful stuff. Then we went to a bar and drank all night. So our friends and her friends. So it was kind of like a quasi engagement party, I would say, without it really being an engagement party. It was really a coming out party. I don't know. It was really about them. And so he had spent the next 4 months here. And at the end of the 4 months, they got married in Korea. So the plan was to go back to the States, and she would now reside in the United States for the full 8 months that he was working in Alaska, with a short trip to Florida. So during that time, I don't know the details because I didn't care, but he had paid a lawyer and all of that stuff to get all of her paperwork done so that she was now under a spousal visa. I'm not sure about the rules of spousal visas, whether you're allowed to work or not or something like that. I'm not sure. Not important to the story. But she's now in Alaska. She's going to be in Alaska about 2 months doing nothing while he's working 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. 6 days a week. She's going to be there for 2 months until they go to Florida. Now, they can fly domestic because it is a domestic flight from Alaska to Florida. For her visa, she has to stay in America for a year or 2 years. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Anyway, she is now 2 months in. And what does she do? I mean, she cooks him dinner after he wakes up in the afternoon, kisses him goodbye, he goes to work, she goes to sleep. Now, I'm assuming that she maybe switched her sleep schedule to match his, so that she would stay up all night and then sleep during the day so that she could, you know, be with him when he was awake, per se. So they could, you know, hang out or whatever it was. But I mean, you know, he works hard and he comes home and she has dinner for him and he goes to sleep and she does whatever. So you have, you know, you have a difference of time schedules. So what do you think she did? What do you think happened in the 2 months that she was there doing nothing every day, 6 days a week? She's by herself in a small mining town in the far north of Alaska, hours away from any city. What do you think she did? Comment down below, tell me what you think. Let me know what you think happened, and we'll follow up on the next one next Saturday with Sri Lanka Sammi. Stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, subscribe, like, enjoy, comment. I'll see you guys soon.